Welcome everyone. My name is Rosie and I am the artist behind Wandercrafter and the coach and creator of the Craft Academy, which is a step-by-step program that's going to help you take your calligraphy business from frustrated into flourishing. And the theme of the week is how to show up, not only for your audience on social media, but to also advocate for yourself and show up and do pitching for different brands that you actually really want to work with. So I'm actually really excited because I have Jenny from Olive and Cedar Designs here today. And we are going to talk about how she transformed her business from a physical product-based business, only making just a couple $100s a month, to making four-figure months just within a couple of months in the program. So I'm going to let Jenny introduce herself and then we'll dive right into it.
Yay. Thank you so much, Rosie. I love chatting with you. I love all of this so much. You know, the community that you've provided has just been so beneficial to me. Like Rosie said, I'm Jenny Bloschke of Olive and Cedar Designs. I'm a mom of four, wife, mom, and calligraphy biz owner. And it has been such an interesting place for me to be a mom, a wife and a mom, and create this business. And so I am now, well, I guess we'll get into it. Sorry. But yes, so I feel like you guys maybe know a little bit about me. Went from, like she said, a struggling Glowforge artist to creating all these physical products that were just, it was taking up my time. I was having no time with family. It was getting really overwhelming, making pennies, to joining the Craft Academy in November and really investing in it fully, wholeheartedly, jumping in and really seeing the results of it. So I'm super grateful to be here to share my experience. And yeah, so thank you.
Yes. Perfect. So I think what's really relatable about your story is that so many people get into the trap of like wanting to create custom products, physical products, especially, so things are made to order and customized for every single customer. And it's so much fun in the very beginning, and then it really gets tiring and old, and you like go in and you calculate how much profit you're actually making, and it's not as high as you expect it or want it to be. So another thing that's really relatable is the fact that you are a mom of four and you have, you have motherly duties. You're also a wife. You have a household to take care of. So it's amazing that you've been able to take all of these lessons from the Craft Academy and just focus in on your business and completely transform it. So we'll get into the details on that. So I actually wanted to kind of chat about how your business was, especially in the very beginning. Can you tell us a little bit more about your business, Olive and Cedar Designs, kind of how you started and where you ended up, right before you got into the Craft Academy?
Yeah, of course. So I started my business in the fall of 2019. So about 2.5 years ago, and I started, of course, with custom. I mean, I think most every calligrapher can relate to this. You start out doing custom work. You start doing stuff for family, friends. Funny enough, the very first order that I got, I pitched myself but didn't realize what I was doing. And it was a good experience to those two places, but I did wholesale orders actually. After that, I had not pitched to a single company or brand until the Craft Academy modules, because I really didn't know what I was doing. It was just kind of lucky. And so I started out doing custom wood slice ornaments and able to provide that for some local businesses, which was amazing and a good start to calligraphy. After that, I was pretty much pulled into wedding calligraphy, because what calligrapher doesn't do wedding
Yeah.
at some point? And so I had some friends who were like, hey, I'm a photographer, or hey, I'm this in the wedding industry. You should totally do wedding calligraphy. It would be awesome. And I was like, well, sure, that makes sense. I mean, beautiful pieces, acrylic signs. I loved working on acrylic. It's smooth. It's easy to work with. It was really awesome. So I started doing that, and then COVID hit. And so I didn't have that many orders, but I had some. And over the course of the next year, it was just struggling to try and find people that I could sell to. And then the few people that actually did purchase from me, it was taking me a long time because it was custom and I wasn't doing it regularly enough to actually understand how to do it faster. And so every time it was kind of like starting fresh. And so it was taking so much time away from family.
Right.
making pennies. And so after the wedding calligraphy, I ended up stopping all of that January of 2021 and went into full-on Glowforge mode, creating DIY paint kit. I mean, it's
Yeah, I remember that.
the story too. I had no idea though, which is so funny. And
Mhm.
so at the time, and I was like, oh my gosh, our stories are like so similar. And so
Yeah.
paint kits, wood signs, had like
Mhm.
behind it. And after months of being in the garage and not able to find a balance for kids because they're all four, they range from 4 to 8.
Mm.
And they're all at home because we also homeschool. And so I'm with them a lot. So trying to find the time to do that. I mean, there was no time for myself to reach.
Yeah.
And so it got really overwhelming. So I stopped that really quickly after just a few months. And that was
Mhm.
summer of 2021. So last summer. And leading into the Craft Academy, I did start investing in teaching workshops, but I really didn't have I didn't have a coach. I didn't have you. So I was oh, would you have a module on that? So, which I am going through. And so
Mhm.
it would have been really helpful, but I knew that I wanted to start teaching. I wanted to start figuring out how I could provide services that where I could make more money in less amount of time to provide
Mhm.
service in the craft that I have. Because the thing is, calligraphers, I mean, we spend years perfecting our craft.
Exactly. Yep.
Take us, maybe a really long time to create something. It's taken all those years to get to where we are. And so we really
Mhm.
should be making a good amount of money per
Right.
hour or whatever. And so I was trying to figure out what is it that I need to do? There's something here. And I remember there was a reel that you posted in October, and that video, I commented last night.
Yeah, I saw that.
Video. I was going back through your reels and I was like, oh, that was the video that hooked me into the Craft Academy. I saw your live events. I saw how happy you were. And
Mm.
it was just really not only successful, but you found your passion, you found your niche. And I thought, I really want that. That's what I want to do. I didn't know that's what I needed. And so so that's kind of a long story of my journey of how I am where I am today.
Yeah, and that's amazing because, we talked about our journeys together and we were
Mhm.
pretty much aligned together. Like we both got the Glowforge around the same time. We were doing paint kits at the same time. And it was just really cool to like finally align with each other. And I remember doing interviews with, other calligraphers in preparation for the Craft Academy, and you were one of them. And I was like, I want her in the program so bad, but it just wasn't the right timing, which is fine. It's better late than never. And the
Yep,
fact is, you
finally.
had to kind of go through that journey yourself and figure out
Mhm.
what worked, what didn't work, and what you truly needed in your business. So I think it's, all about timing, and you went on the road that you were supposed to be on. So, I'm happy that you're here, and I'm really excited to really just dive into the nitty-gritty of how Craft Academy's changed your life and your business and overall freedom.
Mhm.
So, we kind of talked about this already, but what was your average like monthly income with Olive and Cedar Designs prior to the Craft Academy?
Gosh, okay. So this is hard for me. This is hard for me
Yeah.
because you want, I mean, we talk a lot about you fake it till you make it, right?
Hmm.
This is very vulnerable. I was making like $500 months maybe on a good month. And that's just kind of what I averaged over the course of the year. And so holidays like Christmas time, that made the average up,
Mm.
bump up. But
Hmm.
most of the rest of the year, I mean, maybe 300 a month. Not a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. I know it can be fairly embarrassing, especially for people who are kind of new within the industry. 3 to 500 is a decent amount. It's what I like to call beer money because it doesn't help you pay the rent necessarily, but it helps you
Mhm.
get a little bit of extra. You
Yeah.
can buy like extra like avocados or something at the supermarket. So, um, but I thank you for sharing that, because I know it can be embarrassing, and you being vulnerable is really special to me. So thank you. And I think this will serve as motivation for other people as well. So can you also describe like how many hours you were working on
Yeah.
those like better months?
Yeah, so part of that, and I just remembered I was having to get babysitter. I was having to pay babysitters to
Mm,
come to help with the kids
yeah.
while I work in the garage, and ended up paying more to the babysitter than what I was making.
Oh my gosh.
Like, make it make sense, right? So, but I'm doing
That's
what
insane.
and in my head I'm like, long-term goals,
Mm,
you're in it for the long haul with this. And I learned a lot, so I don't discredit that. It may not have made sense, in certain seasons of my life, but it was good because I learned and I grew from it. So my day, honestly, there was a period where I did, it was leading up to Christmas, I did 2 markets, which I would
hmm
will not do again because of the work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were really cool, but it was a lot of work. I spent a month and a half in the garage, probably 4 to 6 hours a day.
Okay. Was
Um,
that every day, or was it like 5 days a week? Did you
pretty-
have boundaries here? Or were you there like 7 days?
Probably like 5 days a week, like on
Okay.
average, 4 to 6 hours. I was creating a whole bunch of new signs that I had not done before. I mean, you have to
hmm
go through like what paints do you need and what's the process and all of this. And so, and then creating like 2 to 3 brand new designs. And I think I created like 30.
Mm. That's
I mean,
awesome. I mean, you have a creative bone,
yeah,
and you are creating these amazing signs for everybody. So I think that was amazing. Um, but you mentioned that like your life didn't necessarily look and feel the way you wanted it to. So what were you kind of envisioning for yourself during that time?
yeah. So with the kids, of course, with them in mind and trying not to have babysitters, I work a lot and still work a lot whenever the kids go to sleep at night. And sometimes
hmm
be really late. And so I was really envisioning that I would be able to put in the time and the effort during afternoons, during rest time, or after the kids went to bed, and maybe spent, an hour and a half, 2 hours in the afternoon, and then 2 to 4 hours like after they go to bed at night, and then maybe on weekends, kind of trading off with my husband.
hmm
So that is what I had kind of envisioned, or to be able to have events or things that I could do just after my husband was home from work, so I wasn't having to get.
Yeah.
So that was really the goal.
hmm
And I didn't know how to make that happen while I was creating products because I was so burnt out and run down. I was just exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine, especially with the kids. Like I'm struggling with just myself. So awesome. So thank you for sharing. I think you guys are going to start to see how much Jenny has grown and changed and adjusted and pivoted her business. So I'm excited to get into that part, because we've kind of, we saw where she's been and where she wants to go. And she ended up investing in the Craft Academy in November of 2021, just, what is that, like 5 months ago. So I'm excited to kind of dive in and see which lessons were the most important for her in adjusting her business. So can you get into a little bit of the transformation within the last 5 months that you've invested in the Craft Academy? What does your income and your future kind of look like as like a whole?
Yeah. So as a whole, as I look at the past, actually from November when I joined the Craft Academy to where we're at in April, comparing it to those same months last year, every single month is significantly higher with income on an average.
Mm-hmm.
Month of April, I'm looking at 2,000 to 2,500 for this month. And oh, I'm so grateful.
That's amazing.
Just during the beginning of where I started, like on average, and I share it hopefully to encourage other calligraphers out there that you can do
hmm
this. I mean, even if you're making like, I mean, I had months where it was like 100.
Yeah.
And keep moving forward, and you'll get there, especially with the right kind of coach.
Yeah. So let's just summarize that really quick. She went from $500 a month during the peak season, and that's November, December holiday seasons where she's like always in the garage working 30 to 40 hours a week, just trying to make new signs and new designs and constantly trying to come up with like new things all the time, to now 5 months later, after investing in the Craft Academy, she's going to be averaging either anywhere between 2,000 to 2,500 just in this month alone. And that is 5x of what she was making in the holiday season last year. So I want that to really hit home, because that is a huge transformation, and I am incredibly proud of you. I cannot believe the amount of growth that you've experienced just in this really short amount of time. And I think that speaks to a testament to your capabilities, your drive, your motivation, and your need to serve your family, in addition to obviously like Craft Academy, you know, like how much the program has really served you and helped you transform your business. So I'm so proud of you. I like, words cannot express how grateful I am to have you in the program.
And so grateful for you. I mean, and I can just speak into that real quick because it's so important, I think, to know I would not have been able to do this without your modules and without your coaching and your support. The amount of, and one thing that you talk about a lot that I just love so much about you, you don't gatekeep. And I think for calligraphers, it's really easy for us to feel like we're all competitors, when really building those relationships and networking with one another, genuine relationships, that is really how you kind of advance and really learn from other people. And so that is what the Craft Academy has done for me, given me knowledge, given me resources, given me relationships and networking. And so 100% wouldn't have been able to do it without you. So thank you.
Aww. You made me cry. You can't cry on live, Jenny. Cool. So one of the things that we like really talked about, especially when we were doing our research call together, is the fact that you are in a pretty small town in College Station, Texas. It's a pretty small area. You don't have too many like luxury stores in that area. Do you feel like that was a barrier that you had to overcome?
Yeah, so I had to get really creative. And I think being able to talk to you and the Craft Academy girls, like just through hearing different, like thinking outside of the box, like I was able to, and it's still in the works, but there's a very large grocery store retailer here that's pretty central to Texas that I reached out to locally. And it's kind of working its way up the chain. I would have never thought to have done that. You know, that's so outside of the box, but hey, they said fine. And they were really excited about that idea. And so that's something really interesting. And then just being able to, like, a couple of things for like local, for anyone that lives in a small town. And I know, I mean, I say we're a small town. It's not, in the town I grew up in is 3,000. So it's not that tiny, but we're about 100,000, 150,000, I think. So, but we don't have many luxury brands. So I was really to think through the brands that we have, and I've been able to make a lot of connections, you know, through Kinder Scott. They're a huge supporter of women in business, and was able to get connected with them through another networking friend, local one that I had met. And so, and we're good friends now. And then for, there's a jewelry store in town, luxury jewelry store, David Gardner's. Sweetest people, and I was able to use some of the pitching module knowledge that you had shared, and was able to reach out to them, and so I booked with them. And then Dillards is one of our own only luxury retailers that it's local. We had a Macy's, so they did sell fragrances, but they went out of business, and so now it's just Dillards. And so interesting story of how, like, I think it's a good time for me to share how I took your information on pitching. And so with Dillards, I think I had shared with you a few months ago. It was a couple of months ago. I went about pitching to them totally off the cuff, wrong, don't do it, did not go well. I went in the store to just purchase something, and I thought, oh, I'm feeling a bit extroverted. Maybe I'll just see if I can connect with like a manager while I'm here and give her my business card. So I was speaking with the lady that was checking me out and shared what I do. She was like, oh, that's neat. And I can have your business card and take it to, you know, whoever. of course, I didn't hear anything because like that is not the way to do it. And I thought even at the time, I probably shouldn't do this, but I was really excited and just wanted to go for it. Obviously didn't hear. So fast forward several weeks later, and I thought, I'm just going to try, think back through. I went back and watched your modules on pitching, and one of the ways that we had talked about was reaching out through, some like a different platform like LinkedIn and trying to reach out and, thinking about that. So I connected with her, was able to send my elevator pitch. She was really excited because I connected with her that way, and then was able to schedule a meeting with her. And so, it was really helpful information to know like kind of how to go about doing that a little bit more. And so I was able to take just some information and knowledge from that and put it into practice. And so
amazing. Yeah. So you went from, a totally physical based product based business and making on average $500 a month. And then you started pitching, you joined the Craft Academy, you started pitching, and now you actually have a fully booked April for live events.
yes.
Right.
Yep.
And we're going to average, by the end of April, she's probably going to average anywhere between 2,000 to 2,500. So there's always more potential to, upsell people. And I'm honestly just super proud of you because you were able to go from, maybe 50% profit, making $200 to $300 a month with physical products to actually making a full profit. So tell me, how much are you actually going to be working? How many hours are you going to work this week? Or on average, how many hours are you going to work each week for like these live events?
So I've got like a grouping of them that'll be, each one is about, there's one event that's just a couple of hours, but most of them are about 4 hours. So really averaging 3 hours at least per event, getting my minimum or getting the hourly rate that I want to make it worth my time.
Right.
And really not underselling myself, knowing the value. And I think having the confidence from, again, through knowing my worth through the modules and things like that. So average of at least three hours for each event.
3 hours for each event. So let's just say like 6 hours a week-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 6 hours a week for 4 weeks. She's going to make 4 figures this month. And that is because she was able to take the all the lessons from the Craft Academy, not only with the pitching ideas, but how to pitch, where to pitch, getting the brand deck and practicing her elevator pitch. And we do some role playing within our coaching calls as well. So she actually was able to go out there with confidence and do things the right way and actually be able to close all of those leads. And I think that is just 100% incredible for you. And I'm happy with the way that your business is progressing. And you just seem so much happier and way less stressed than you were before. So this is a true transformation. If we had to pick one person from the Craft Academy, I think you are an amazing role model for everyone else. So I hope everyone else who's watching this gets motivated by you as well and is able to take some of those lessons. If you haven't joined the Craft Academy yet, you are more than welcome to do an application process. I do have a webinar replay that I can send you. So send me a DM and let me know that you're interested in it. And then we can just hop on the phone and we'll talk about your specific business, your goals within your business, what you'd like to do, where you'd like to transform your business into, and we can talk about it. We'll have a pretty open-ended, relaxed conversation. And we'll figure out if, you're the right fit for us or if we're the right fit for you. So we want to make sure that the program actually works for you. So definitely book a call with me so we can chat about all of the awesome things that we want to do with your business.
Yes. Yes. Sure.
Awesome. Yes. So, not only has Jenny really done the thing, taken all the modules and put it into practice and has a fully booked April, but we have several calligraphers pretty much all around the world who are also doing the same thing. So we have Kelly from Jupiter Stone Creative, who is actually booked with David Yurman and Nordstrom's in Denver, Colorado. She actually just got hit up by Cartier to do other events, and she can't do it because she's already booked. We also have Linda, who is in Cologne, Germany. She just got hit up by Louis Vuitton to do some Mother's Day activations as well. So there are wins all around the world. It's not just, you know, within California, just because that's where I'm based, or like within the United States. But, you know, I truly believe that these lessons that we teach in the Craft Academy are lessons that are going to help you build that foundation for your business so that you can actually build on each one and actually build the layers so that it's completely stable and you can actually scale it in the future. So that's my goal for you, and I would love for that to be your future as well. So definitely book a call with me. I have some time this week and next week, so I would love to chat with you and figure out if this is a good fit for you.
Yes, cannot say enough good things.
Yeah.
Something
Cool.
else.
So Jenny, can you if there was someone who is thinking about joining the Craft Academy or wants to make a pivot within their business, what is a word of advice for those people?
It's really good. So I think the biggest thing is knowing that you're not alone in your fears. Probably whatever you're experiencing or feeling, there are plenty of other people, calligraphers that have gone before you, and you just don't know them. And there's a really good, not everybody, I'm not saying every single calligrapher, you know, I've met calligraphers that are not, you know, as open to friendships and networking, but pretty most every single one that I have met, they love helping, they love sharing. And so join a community where you're not alone, where you can find the help that you need, get advice if you're thinking about pivoting. You need that support. You don't have to, you know, reinvent the wheel. There are people that have already gone before you. And so again, Craft Academy, I mean, I think especially for creatives, for calligraphers that are wanting to pivot, even if it's not specifically with live events, I know a lot of us do that, but there are so many, I mean, there are a lot of us in the group that are not doing live events that are really thriving. I mean, that have product-based businesses, which are like amazing and so thriving, and they have benefited. And I've seen that, just watch from afar, and have seen their success just because of the implementation of the modules here. So I think just not being afraid to find that community and really gaining the confidence to just put yourself out there.
Thank you all so much for tuning in live. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop it into the replay of this video, and make sure you send me any DMs, any questions about the Craft Academy. You're also more than welcome to reach out to Jenny. Olive Cedar Designs, I will tag her as well. And that's it. Thank you so much. I'm excited to chat with you.
Love it.
Bye.